In 1983, the CIA investigated a way to leave the physical body behind. They called it the gateway process. Welcome to the investigation. Today, we look at the facts the government tried to hide for decades. The document was titled Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process. It wasn't a memo for the public. It was a deep dive into the limits of human potential, signed by Lieutenant Colonel Wayne McDonnell. His task was to explain how specific sound frequencies could synchronize the brain's hemispheres. But McDonnell didn't just find a relaxation technique, he found a doorway. He described the universe not as solid matter, but as a complex system of energy fields. The report suggests that the gateway process allows our consciousness to interact with these fields, outside the constraints of space and time. The CIA realized that if this was true, our entire understanding of reality was fundamentally wrong. The sheer detail within these documents is what makes them so unsettling. McDonnell didn't just observe the gateway process. He attempted to map the physics of the afterlife. He described a state where the human heart becomes a signal generator, producing a rhythmic frequency that vibrates throughout the entire body. But it goes further. The CIA analysis suggests that our consciousness is not produced by the brain, but is instead a continuous energy field that exists outside of it. By using specific audio frequencies, the gateway process allows the mind to tune in to different levels of reality, layers of existence that the military officially categorized as focus levels. In these files, they discuss the ability to move past the time-space dimension. They describe how experienced practitioners could theoretically access a universal hologram, a repository of all knowledge, past and future. It wasn't just a psychological experiment, it was a manual for transcending the physical world. The question we have to ask is, if the CIA spent years perfecting this technology, what did they actually find when they stepped through the door? But theory is one thing, experience is another. Decades after these documents were declassified, people began trying the gateway tapes for themselves. And while many found peace, others found a nightmare. On platforms like Reddit, the warnings are visceral. Users describe a vibrational state that feels like an electric current running through their skull. One user reported debilitating headaches that lasted for weeks after a single session. Others talk about the grid, a geometric trap where they felt watched by entities that didn't want them there. There are stories of people losing their sense of self, experiencing what they call karmic games, where their reality begins to glitch. They warn that once you open this door, you can't always close it. They aren't just listening to audio, they are playing with the very fabric of their existence. And for some, the price of entry was too high. One user described a sensation of being pulled by an invisible force, only to find themselves staring at their own sleeping body from the ceiling. Another warned that without proper grounding, the vibrations can become a source of intense physical pain. These aren't just stories, they are a collective warning from those who went too far. Beyond the initial vibrations, the community warns of a phenomenon known as the click-out. It's a terrifying loss of continuity where hours vanish in a heartbeat, leaving the practitioner displaced and disoriented. Some users report that after returning from the gateway, their physical surroundings no longer feel correct. They describe a persistent sense of anomia, a mourning for a home they have never visited, or a life that doesn't belong to them. But the most chilling warnings involve the static people. These aren't just shadows, they are described as distortions in the room that appear only in the corner of your eye after a session. Reddit threads are filled with advice on how to ground yourself back to this reality before the detachment becomes permanent. They warn that the tapes are a beacon, and once you start broadcasting your consciousness into the void, you have no way of knowing what might decide to follow the signal back to you. The gate is open, but what is truly waiting on the other side? To follow this investigation to the end, subscribe now. In the next episode, we analyze the hook, the terrifying specific frequency that keeps users trapped. Don't get lost in the grid. See you on the other side. Is it possible that the CIA stumbled upon a truth so profound that it was safer to leave it in the archives? Or is the human mind simply not evolved enough to handle the frequencies of the gateway?